Hey there, Panthers. I hope everyone's doing well. Today, what I want to talk to you about are pre-workout meal and snack things. So a lot of folks will come and say, Mary, what is the best thing for me to eat before I work out? And the answer is going to be whatever feels best to you. It's going to be different from person to person. But when we're thinking about pre-workout meal and snack options, there are a few things that we want to keep in mind. And this is, how long am I going to be exercising? What intensity will I be exercising at? And how long or short of time period before my workout am I eating? So what time before my workout am I eating? When we talk about intensity, I want you to keep in mind that there's a talk test is kind of how we gauge that. So right now, how I'm talking right now, where it's really easy for me to get my words out, we consider that low intensity. Moderate would be where you can talk, but every few sentences you have to take a deep breath, and it's kind of you kind of like do notice that your breathing is labored and the sentences are hard to come out. That's considered moderate. And then high intensity would be those moments when you're not talking because you're just breathing the whole time. So when I talk about the intensities, that's kind of how we can gauge that. As far as the fuel sources that our body uses to run, we have three main sources, and that's carbohydrates, fat, and protein. And each of these are going to do something different for our body. So if we're going with a shorter term, so short workout, but at high intensity, carbohydrates are going to be the main source of fuel. If we're doing longer workouts at a more moderate intensity, fat is going to be our main source of fuel. And then any type of exercise we're doing, we want to make sure we have a little bit of protein, because that helps fuel our muscles and helps with recovery and repair. And it actually helps with protein synthesis, which is a process that the cells go through to produce and create protein, which we know we need to help strengthen, build muscle, as well as help it aid in recovery and repair of those muscles as they, the fibers kind of break down during the workout process. So we're wanting to make sure that we incorporate some variation of all of those in there, but keeping in mind, if we're going shorter at a higher intensity, you might increase the carbohydrate intake, and if you're going longer at a more moderate intensity, you're going to increase healthy fat intake. The last piece I mentioned that we want to take into consideration is the timing. So how close to the workout are we eating? If you're going to do 2 to 3 hours before you work out, that's going to be more of a meal. And again, keeping in mind, what am I doing? How long am I going for? How hard am I going to go? And making that adjustment. If you're eating 30 to 60 minutes, so 30 minutes to an hour before your workout, that's going to be more of a snack option. And that is going to be a little bit higher in that carbohydrate protein piece. We want to make sure that those are easy foods that are easier to digest, that aren't really hard on the stomach. And we're going to have smaller portion sizes for those closer to the workout, that 30 minutes to an hour before. Some options you could consider just looking at, if you're looking for some examples of those snack things, would be stuff like whole wheat tortilla, bread, bagel with some sort of nut butter, so almond butter, peanut butter, even cream cheese, just a little bit of that. So you've got the carbohydrates, a little bit of fat, a little bit of protein in there. You could do unsalted mixed nuts, like a handful of those with some dried fruit, like dried cranberries or raisins. Yogurt with some whole fruit in it. You could do a banana and some peanut butter, or an apple and some peanut butter, a sweet potato and some sort of nut butter, almond butter, peanut butter, whatever that might be. So those are some snack options you could look at. With those meal type things, you could do some scrambled eggs with some veggies and some avocado, a wrap with turkey and cheese and some veggies, just things that come from those three different fuel sources and that taste good to you and don't really upset your stomach. So try some different options, find what works best for you, because what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another, and what tastes good to one person is not always going to taste good to the next person. And try some of those combinations, see what works for you. I hope this information is helpful. We'll be back with another video. I hope you have a really great day and a wonderful week. Take good care of yourself.